Hey everyone, this is Scrap Computer. This guide is going to be covering general advantages you can get when going to lane or when in lane by putting up stacking abilities, gaining HP, or other general small advantages. This will be less ambiguous when I start it. This guide will be covering many interactions you can do with camps when around your lane, giving you a small advantage in many cases. I will be covering only the top, mid, and bot laners who can use this tactic, and will be leaving out some obvious stuff like Udyr can walk to camp to heal. This guide will be coming on for my quick tip 8, which covered stacking at the base. This guide will be covering advantages and stacking when going to lane and when in lane. Although I'll be mentioning the lane uses of these abilities primarily as the only example, do think for yourself as they do have other uses. For example, when running past camps, when being chased, you can utilize a lot of these tips. Or if you're chasing someone, again you can utilize the tips as well, and use most of these tactics. Now that I've went over the general pretext, let's finally get into it. Abilities over wall section. This section will be covering abilities that can be used to give you an advantage by hitting camps over the wall. Yasuo's Q stacks. You can hit the white camp or wraiths to get some free Q stacks during the laning phase. A note below is that the wraith camp is easily hit in this position I'm showing below. Ahri's passive. Ahri can use her Q to hit the wraiths during the laning phase to get stacks, or if she's got full stacks, to spell vamp off the wraiths freely. Rengar's ferocity. The cat can use his E and W to gain stacks when going to lane, or of course when he's running back and he's in low health. This will mainly be used for Rengar top to get stacks when going to lane, but is extremely useful. Mordekaiser's spell vamp and passive shield. Mordekaiser with a single spell vamp item can use this to heal over the wall, if he just uses an ability over the wraith camp. In addition, he can also E the wraith camp for some free passive shield as well if you're getting zoned. Morgana, Q, W. Morgana can use her Q and W along with her passive spell vamp to get free health over any camp wall in the game. This is more notable as you progress into the game. This example isn't great, but it does show. Ezreal's passive and Q cooldown. You can get passive stacks from hitting your Q, E and ultimate on camps, mainly your Q to be honest. In addition, your Q also decreases the cooldown of all of your other abilities. This can be used for literally any camp in the game due to its long range. So when running back to base, throw a Q at the golems, why not? It's a free 1 second off your ultimate. Run to camp section. This section will be covering champions that need to run into or by the camps to get advantages and the uses of the abilities I'm about to explain. These are harder but still very useful in some of these champions. Galio's W. He can run from the mid lane, shield himself just before he picks up aggro of a wraith camp, hit them, and then once they hit him back with the aggro, the first 3 to 4 auto attacks will heal him phenomenally. This is a very strong tactic and shown below when he's lowish health in the mid lane. Caitlyn's passive stacks. Caitlyn can run past the golem camp bot lane or generally anywhere and get a few free auto attacks when going to their lane or wherever she's going. This is some free stacks for going into any engagement. Clearly later on in the game when you have more movement speed, this is a more viable tactic but still notable start game. Akali's Q and auto attack. Akali gets free spell vamp, so you might as well use it by running into the wraith camp or white camp depending on your lane, and then run up and Q the camp and auto attack to proc it. You will get an extra 20 to 60 HP depending on your spell vamp and your items obviously. This can take 2 or 3 runs, or you can Q at range to get your spell vamp and not have to risk taking damaging aggro. It's really up to you. Yorick's W. Yorick can run back from the top lane and W the white camp and of course get his free lifesteal. He can use this in other camps as well, obviously as shown below. This can be useful for a close matchup when you're getting zoned and don't want to take the risk of an all-in. Cho'Gath's ultimate. This one is simple, but you can walk out of your lane when going back to base or when going to lane and eat any small minion for a free stack, which will give you more health when travelling. Kha'Zix W. Kha'Zix can use his W to lifesteal if he is within his W range. This is great for running up and picking up some free HP on, for example, the Wraith camp. Lucian ability and passive. If you're on the back foot very badly and you just use your E, rather than being zoned, you can go back to your golems, use one more cooldown and double shot to get the E cooldown lower rather than just sitting under turret and getting zoned anyway. Elise's W. Spider can always walk to the white or Wraith camp and use her W immediately to get some minimal health back. This can be good to give you a small edge in lane and of course to give you some free spell vamp. Ryze's Q. If walking past any camp, you might as well throw a Q to lower the cooldown of your ultimate and other abilities. This is mainly used when roaming, but if running away, always remember you can Q a camp and get that W cooldown off. Always think of other uses. Draven's Q and passive. When coming into bot lane or making a rotation, you can always Q and catch some axes when walking past camps, and in this example the golem camp, to get some free stacks. Obviously later on into the game when you have more movement speed, this is a lot easier. The example below is a bit clumpy. Tryndamere's Q and passive. If lowish and being zoned, you can always go back to the white camp and lifesteal off it, or at least get some fury so you can heal with your Q. I only advise this if you have at least one good item to clear the white camp. If it's very start game, don't bother, you're gonna lose more than you gain. Warwick's Q. As Lanewick, you can always walk to your closest camp and Q it. This will grab you some free HP without risk, a good point for Lanewick. There's no point in getting zoned, you might as well just go back and clear off a camp. Xerath's passive. If on low mana and the lane's pushed, you really don't want to be up there, well, where you can't cast spells. So you might as well rotate back, go to the Wraith camp and auto attack it. This will proc your passive, give you free mana, and there's no risk involved. Graves' passive and E cooldown. As Graves, you can get your passive re-procced to keep it high in the golem camps. In addition, you can also run back after a fight if it's safe to do so and you're getting a bit zoned, and auto attack the golems to lower the E's cooldown. This is mainly applicable if running away, for example, and you're auto attacking creeps while running to lower the E cooldown to go over a wall or something. Twisted Fate's W blue card. Much like Xerath, if the lane is pushed and your lowest mana, you can always run back to the Wraiths and blue card one of them then run. This will give you some free mana and no risk. Vlad Q and E. Vlad top or mid, if he's rarely seen there, can always run to the white or Wraiths if low HP and do a quick Q and run away for some free HP. This also works if you have spell vamp and your E. Malphite's Q. A good tip to get where you're going faster is to Q a camp while going past it to get the free movement speed it provides. This is good if running away, or if you're ganking or making a really long rotation to the enemy jungle, Q one of your camps to get the movement speed. You might as well. And that's it for the run to camp section. All round tactic. This is actually a massive point and a tactic that encompasses most champions. If your champion has spell vamp, you can get HP over walls or when walking into camps, and not be one of the champions I've just mentioned. For example, if Kennen gets spell vamp, he can Q the Wraiths over the wall, free. Rumble can E the white over the wall, for free, and get spell vamp. Kog'Maw with his, if he got spell vamp, could Q the Wraiths as well, getting free HP. You get my point. Any champion that has spell vamp can heal over the wall, and it's a pretty decent tactic on a few niche champions. This guy kind of links into another quick tip which I done, which is infinite lifesteal tip. This can be seen below, but you can check it out on my quick tip playlist, so go there if you want to have a look at it. It's a similar tactic. Item uses. Okay, now I'll be covering certain items that can be used over walls to get stacks or give you an advantage when going into lane or when being in lane. Tear of the Goddess stacks. you can use on-hit abilities on camps to get some tier stacks. This can be useful if your champion has a lot of on-hit abilities and not many projectiles. Proc Phage. Since you actually need to hit a target to get Phage procs, you can always use abilities over walls to hit jungle creeps to get the Phage proc, hence the movement speed. This can help to getting lane faster when running away. For example, if you're going to lane as Ezreal, you can Q the golem camp when going there to get the free movement speed and get to lane faster. And that's it for the quick tip. If you like it, share it, favorite it, all that fun stuff. If you dislike it, unsub, unshare, whatever that means, and unfavorite. Besides that guys, have a great day and best of luck in the Rift.